How we doing, team? Welcome to another video. Bar none, the most powerful way to get advice, gain clarity, understand yourself, and make sure that you're making a decision that you're comfortable with and you're happy to live with the consequences. Get yourself a pen and some paper. I think this is one of the most powerful things that you can do if you want to quietly go about changing your life. My name's Kieran. I'm an online fitness and health coach. I'm currently studying an HNC in counselling because I want to bring together the physical health and fitness game and understand more of the mind and how the mind works, how it controls us, and how it gets us to believe what we believe. If you want to make a solid decision that you are comfortable is your decision, pen and paper. Now, I wouldn't just write down the question that you're looking for an answer for. This is a process of understanding yourself and getting to know yourself. What journaling does for you is it allows you to have an open and honest conversation with yourself, which is completely honest, and the only person that is going to understand it, judge it, and reply to it is your future self. I want to explain how I go about doing it, and then I can give you some examples of how it changed my life. The way I start every day, tick boxes. For me, having a visual tick box. So, for instance, today, I always have on the left my work tasks. Next column will be my personal tasks. So, for instance, today, check-ins, college, record a YouTube video, and set up Q&As for return for 3 new clients. Then in my personal column, I've got train, meditate and read, and walk the 3K Cardio Club. That's something we do in live performance if you don't understand what the 3K Cardio Club is. Then I've got other things that I just need to be mindful of with it that's going to take up time, and it's one of my son's football and a wee no chocolate. I'm avoiding having a bit of chocolate today, but I'll be open and honest, it's Friday and I ended up hitting up the vending machine on the way out of college and indulged myself in a Boost bar. So that is a big X there, and that gives me something to work on moving forward. I call the next section 3 things and a win. 3 things to be grateful for. And I wrote yesterday, family, which is mum specifically, and I'll explain that in a second. My health and my passion. Now, I wasn't sure I was going to record this video today. This particular one, I've got different ideas in my WhatsApp messages to myself as to different topics to cover. But family, we watched the film I Swear last night. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It is emotional, inspiring, and hilarious. But I couldn't help but relate my mum to the mum in the film and the guilt the mum felt because she didn't know how to cope with her son, and she did the best that she could. And I did a video of me doing a speech in Toastmasters recently, and I knew my mum would feel guilty about that, and I felt really bad actually putting it out. But understanding that the guy in the film's mum did the best that she could do with the information that she had never come across this before, and how I related that to my mum. My mum had never came across me before. I think my mum had a few drinks and smoked some fags in her life, so when I rolled up doing all sorts of madness, she didn't know how to cope with it, and she coped to the best of her ability before, as I've talked about in the speech, she kicked me out, and then things that ended up getting worse, and eventually my dad pulled me out the fire almost. My passion, this is my passion. Helping people is my passion. I'm passionate about spreading positivity and enthusiasm for life in quite a dull world, I feel like. And I want to uplift people and switch people on to how easy I think it is to start living a better life. I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's better, it's more fulfilling. You'll go to your bed with a sense of achievement at the end of the day, potentially, once we start living in congruence, so living in line with our actual passion and what we want to do, what we're effectively born to do. And then I've wrote date night. I had a date night with my missus last night. That's a win. Couple of wee sections. What I'll do then after I've done the kind of the tick boxes and the 3 things and a win is I'll write a couple of wee bits that I'll write to myself, just affirmations, thoughts, encouragement, sometimes things to watch out for, something that happened yesterday that I want to watch out for today. And today I'm just going to be open and honest and share my journal today. This wasn't what I'd planned, but what I've wrote is habits and patterns create the life I live on a daily basis. To be fair, I feel that's true. There will be particular events that interrupt the regularity, which create experiences, but life is built on the mundane habits and patterns that fill the gap. I'd go with that today, actually, and that's one of those ones. Now, what me writing that down means is that's now on my pad. I have got pages and pages and pages of thoughts and feelings and things that I've been discussing in my head and wanted to overcome. Now, for instance, I have understood more about my business and the kind of avenue that I wanted to go down more as I journaled in my book. I've understood more about what makes me tick, what upsets me, what I want to change in my life as I've journaled. One thing that stands out to me massively when I look at my journals, now to put you in the picture, I don't drink that regularly, maybe once every couple of months just now, but I really want to drink less and less and less, to the point probably none anymore at all, apart from weddings maybe. But journaling, the power of this thing. I thought when I initially set up Life Performance, I had found a way to be fit and healthy, but still enjoy partying pretty much every other weekend, which is possible, physically possible. Where I realised it wasn't possible for me is the mental side of it. When I looked at my journal entries on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes Friday, after I had been drinking the weekend before, there was a distinct pattern in how much I lacked confidence, how I just didn't have any clear thoughts, how much I overthought what I wanted to say on things like my videos or what I wanted to put out on YouTube, and how much I ended up having a bit of like an imposter syndrome where I didn't feel like I was good enough. And there was just the thing that jumped off the page to me completely was the lack of imagination. I felt like I had no brain power. And even today, if you look at my journal entry today, it's 3 lines. If you look at them other days, it's 5 and 6 in the morning. Now, what I would add is you can see possibly down at the bottom here, there's a line and then there's a gap at the bottom, and I've left a gap here. Now, that's a space for reflection. Now, that might be over the top for just standard, just getting your mind together and understanding yourself. The reflection that I write will be on something that happened that day. Now, mainly, I'm doing that for college to understand and see this happened that day and I reacted in that way. Then maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, something similar happened and I reacted a different way. Have I grown? Have I changed? What's caused that? How did I feel? What got the better reaction? I'm massive in personal growth, self-awareness, self-understanding, and living in complete awareness to the best of my ability of who I am, what I want, where I'm going, and then living with an intention to bring the best of me out into life. Now, some people might laugh at that and think that's a bit pathetic. I'm evolving on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis. The person that I was last year when I set up Life Performance, I'm no longer that person at all anymore. Even the way I want to take the business and my aspirations and vision of what the business is going to be has changed and developed as times went on as well. It was very much just get people physically fit and healthy and then move on into the future, and everything's future focused. Whereas now, I totally believe we need to understand the past, be aware of it, take that awareness now into our present, which allows us to be more present and enjoy the moment that we're in just now, and then take that awareness and education into the future to shape the future as much as we can and make it what we want, rather than just letting it unfold and dealing with what unfolds and what hits us. I'm a massive believer that the behaviours and habits that we have create patterns through our life on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis, and the more positive habits that we can do day by day, week by week, month by month, builds an ever-growing platform of strength, security, confidence, enthusiasm, passion, whatever emotions that bring a more positive reality into your today. I think we build on that by what we do on a daily basis. For instance, if you say you're going to do something, do it. I'm quite confident most of the time when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I've said I'm going to go and train. I got up at my bed at 5:20 this morning, I journaled, and I went to the gym and trained. That's pretty shit, it's pretty difficult. But starting your day off with something that's pretty difficult and a big tick in the box of self-confidence and keeping your word to yourself is huge. The biggest learnings that I took away from just journaling is understanding the patterns of when I see things like the drinking thing. I feel terrible, it's 4 days after drinking, I need to stop drinking. I feel totally insecure, I've no confidence, I'm snappy, I'm ratty, I feel like I'm just lacking focus, can't pay attention. I've got an opportunity in front of me here and I'm wasting it. I was writing that to myself, and it's when I reflect back on it 3 and 4 weeks later, because that's where the secret sauce is. Writing it is the act. The growth takes place when we look back and we read over what we've journaled. Growth doesn't take place during the experience. Growth takes place by reflecting on the experience. I think that is absolutely bang on and it's beautiful, and I completely agree with it. In the moment we enjoy the experience for what it is there and then. It might be enjoyment, sometimes it might be sadness, it might be a bad experience, but that's the emotion there and then. We grow as a person when we reflect on that experience and we decide in that similar situation next time, how do I want to cope with that? Would I do the same again? Would I be more ready to take advantage of that opportunity? Or would I be more guarded and protect myself if it was a dangerous situation? Is there something that I can do to provide myself extra security, extra readiness, be on my guard? Or is there something that I can do to maximise the presence and enjoyment of the opportunity that I've just experienced? That there is when you read back in your journal, and that is where the getting to know you takes place. And what I would suggest you do when it comes to journaling is start off, and again, if I even go back to the start of this one journal, I was doing a couple of days in one page, as you can see. Hopefully that comes across in this. But it starts small and it grows. I remember when I first started journaling, I don't even know if I had my tick boxes. I would have my gratitudes and my wins and maybe a wee line or something like that, but it grows, you get more used to it. I was on a call with a client through the week there, just feeling a bit lost, a bit on his own, and I said to him, what do you do that kind of promotes you feeling a bit better? Positive behaviours. And part of the Life Performance app's the Daily Habits, and there is a section where you can write down 3 things in a win, which I call it. 3 things to be grateful for in a win. But in his current situation, he feels a bit alone, kind of cut off, away from family, unsure, unsettled, and just it sounded like he just needed somebody to bounce something off of. If one particular event was into your diary and you see it and you reflect on it and you go, maybe that wasn't as big as I thought it was at the time when I see it written down. Or if it's this stressful event and you think in your head it's just playing away and chewing you up, you're not sleeping at night, when you get to work you're not able to focus, you're just struggling. When you write down what it is that you're stressing about and you see it in a bit of paper, it becomes smaller. There is a magic within writing something down. Caveman style. You can bullshit yourself in your head 100%. I do it all the time. But when it comes to writing something down, if I'm going to take the time to go and get my journal out, get my pen and start writing out lies to myself, that would be insane and I just wouldn't do it. So that's where this total self-honesty comes. I know people are apprehensive about sitting down and writing things down, and that's fine. Some people want to do voice notes and things like that as well. But for me, keep it simple, because it is. The most basic things in life a lot of the time are the things that bring us the most joy. And for me, this is a basic thing that anybody can do, anybody can start at any time. If you are a bit lost, needing a bit of direction, needing a bit of clarification, needing a bit of advice, I mean, who better to get advice off of than your own genuine true self? There just isn't a better way to make a decision than having your own thoughts on paper, reading through them, then deciding, do those thoughts agree with me now? Or was that me talking when I was in a bad mood at the time? The power of this, I call it the power of the pen, is incredible. I feel like I'm like a rapper or something, like the power of the pen, but it's as basic as that. Just writing things down, getting it out your head and onto a bit of paper. There's a bit of magic that takes place between it coming out of here, through your arm and onto that bit of paper that just clarifies it, makes it so crystal clear, so obvious, undeniable, and it makes it so much sense, and it actually makes it so much more manageable, and obviously it's visible when you see it written down as well. Journaling and getting right into journaling is probably one of the biggest personal development hacks that any of us can deploy. And if you are someone that feels a bit lost, lacks a bit of direction, clarity, you're feeling a bit self-aware, insecure, not too sure what direction you're going, not too sure who should be in your life, if you've got questions, deep questions, big questions that you don't want to make a snap judgment on, this thing, a bit of paper and a pen, will release you from any anxieties, worry and stresses, because once you have taken the time to get to know yourself, and it takes time, and be gentle with yourself, this will take time, but once you do that, you do the work, you put the effort into doing that, and you gain that level of self-acceptance, self-awareness and self-confidence to then make the decisions, be secure in those decisions and accept the consequences that come with those decisions because it was your decision. There's a complete power and beauty in that, and I couldn't suggest doing this highly enough. Now, if you want any other tips on how to cope with journaling, thought processes, insecurities, self-confidence, I'm in the process of changing my life. I'm not sitting here as a business guru that's got millions in the bank and I've changed my life and this is what you should do. I'm telling you, I'm in the process of changing my life just now, and this is one of the most powerful tools that I deploy on a daily basis because it's basic, it's cheap, it's only me that needs to be involved in doing this, and it's simple. And because, as we know, keep it simple because it is. The basic things are the things that we can do on a daily basis. They become habitual, and that is the behaviours, habitual rhythms that then make up the positive change that we want to bring into our life. So, journaling, the power of the pen, one of the most powerful things that I have done for myself probably my whole life. I only started doing it maybe a year and a bit ago. I wish I had done it since I was 20-year-old. I would be so much further forward if I did. But anyway, as the saying goes, it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't. So I am here where I am, building from where I am through understanding myself more, gaining the education that I can and implementing that in my own life to create the person and the image that I see of myself in the future and slowly try and catch up with that. But at the end of the day, I'll never catch up with that because the more I get closer to that guy that I see in my head, the more that guy in my head grows and gets better. And it's like Matt McConaughey says, your idol should be you in 10 years, just always trying to chase and improve and get better. And I wholly believe all of us are able to do that when we're able to think clearly, congruently, and find the self that we are at our core and not be led by the group of people round about us who, do they have our best interests at heart? Who knows? Are they pushing us in the right direction? Who knows? Only you know at your core who you are and what you want. And if you don't know who you are and what you want at your core, this is where to start. This is where you'll start to change your life. So if you would like to get involved with myself or the Life Performance Programme, reach out, drop me a DM. We keep it simple. It is simple. It's fundamental. It's basic. And that is the way it needs to be for it to be effective and implementable on a daily basis.